Hello, and welcome to the My Heart and Mind podcast, where it's all about creating the feel-good mindset so you can make the most of every moment and reap the benefits of getting the most happiness out of life. And now, over to your host, Sally Crawley.
If you've had a heart attack, heart surgery, or a cardiac arrest, or your life has been changed by a cardiac diagnosis, this space is for you. This podcast is about more than surviving. It's about gently rebuilding trust in your body, steadying your mind, and learning how to live well again, even with everything you've been through. Together, we'll explore the emotional side of heart recovery, the fear, the fatigue, the what-ifs, and how to work with your thoughts, feelings, and nervous system so you can make the necessary lifestyle changes, feel calmer, stronger, and more like yourself again. Take a breath. You're safe here. Hello, my wonderful hearties. Welcome to another episode. I'm so glad that you can join me again. If it's your first time, I hope you come back and listen to some more later. Or even just pop back and listen to the back catalogue, because I'm sure that there'll be things that might interest you. So how are we all doing today? I'm doing pretty good, although for the third time in probably about 6 weeks, I've injured my neck again. I think it's doing all the new exercises that I have been doing and moving my body in ways that I haven't done for a long time. But it kind of made me wonder, because I keep hurting my neck, it was like, what's wrong with my neck? Have I got something seriously wrong? And with that comes the nagging fear of death. So I want to talk to you about that today. The fear of mortality is something that humans brush up against at some point in their lives. Usually it's just fleeting. A passing thought late at night or after a loss. Sometimes when I see a car accident, it brings it to mind. But when you've had a cardiac arrest, an implantable device, heart attack or cardiac surgery, mortality just doesn't tap you on the shoulder. It sits down beside you and refuses to leave. If this resonates with you, please hear this first. You are not broken, you are not weak, and you are absolutely not alone. After a cardiac event, many people experience a deep and persistent fear of death. A constant background hum of, what if this happens again? What if I don't wake up? Is that another cancer? Am I having another heart attack? This fear can show up immediately after the event, or just as commonly months or even years later, once the initial crisis has passed and life is supposed to be back to normal. And yet your mind doesn't feel normal at all. When your sense of immortality shatters, a heart attack, major heart surgery has a way of bringing you crashing back down to earth. One moment you're living your life, not really thinking about death at all, and the next your body has delivered a brutal message. You are human, you are fragile, and all life is not guaranteed. For some people, this wake-up call can spark a powerful shift. They grab life with both hands, change habits, savour the small things, and decide to truly live. It's something that I keep telling myself to do, but somehow it just slips by. If that's you, I am so genuinely glad for you. And I try to do this every day, because living in the now is one way that you can actually manage this. A heart attack or major heart surgery has a way of bringing you crashing back down to earth. One moment you're living your life, not really thinking about death at all, and the next your body's delivered a brutal message. You are human, you're fragile, and life is not guaranteed. And for some people, this wake-up call sparks a powerful shift. They grab life by both hands, change habits, savour the small things, live in the now, and to decide to truly live. And if that's you, I'm genuinely glad. But if instead, if like me, you were left with an anxiety, fear, panic, intrusive thoughts, or a constant sense of dread, then this episode is for you. Often I found I was questioning myself and asking, why am I feeling like this now? Before your diagnosis or after a cardiac event, death may never have crossed your mind. You most likely assumed, on some level that it was a long way off, and without even realising that we have this belief that we are immortal. Well, I did anyway. But now your body has proven otherwise. And there are a few real reasons that this fear shows up after a cardiac event. Firstly, you came close to dying. This one really matters, even if no one talks about it enough. You were seriously ill. Your heart failed you in some way. You were hospitalised, perhaps in intensive care, and you maybe don't even remember parts of it, but your nervous system remembers. Even if you recovered and went home, your mind and body know how close the line was. Secondly, trauma and hypervigilance. After a heart attack, cardiac surgery, cardiac arrest, or an implantable device, many people become hypervigilant, constantly scanning their body for danger. That's what our nervous system is about. It's about keeping us safe. And so every sensation suddenly feels suspicious. A twinge in your chest, indigestion. I had indigestion. It was one of my only symptoms. A flutter, a skipped beat, a headache, left arm pain, even muscular. As I said, your brain's job is to keep you alive. After trauma, it goes into overdrive, watching everything like a hawk to make sure it never happens again. This is not anxiety for no reason. This is your survival system doing its best, but it's doing it just a little too loudly. If you'd like to know more about your nervous system, I recently did a YouTube video about cardiac anxiety. I'll drop a link in the show notes and on my website on the article so that if you wish to go and have a look, you can find out more. Thirdly, the fear of the unknown. No one can give you a definitive answer about what happens when we die, and humans hate uncertainty. Add that to the realisation that you no longer feel in control of your body, and it can feel like the rug has been pulled from under you. Some people even have fleeting thoughts like, if I hadn't woken up, it would have been over. If that's a thought that's ever occurred to you, please know this. It is more common than you think, and it doesn't mean that you want to die. I had those feelings myself. If I hadn't survived, I wouldn't have had to deal with everything now. But I no longer think like that. But it's real. It can and does cross people's minds. What it probably means, or what more usually it means though, is it's not that you don't want to die. It means you're exhausted, you're overwhelmed, and you're trying to make sense of everything around you. And what you have been through is something enormous. This, as I said, is a normal part of cardiac recovery. And I want to be very clear here. The fear of death or dying after a cardiac event is not a personal failing. It is a normal trauma response. It's your nervous system recalibrating. And it's your mind trying to protect you. Many people experience it intensely for months. Some feel it comes and goes for years. Others find it flares up, particularly around anniversaries, medical appointments, new symptoms, or quiet moments at night. But yes, it can get better. So how can we begin to cope with the fear of dying? So coping does not mean eliminating the fear entirely. It means learning to live with it, without letting it ruin your life. Remember, your brain's main purpose is to help you survive, which is therefore why it's always looking out for anything that can go wrong. But here's my suggestions. Remember, not everything works for everybody. It's worth giving everything a go, more than once, and then finding what works best for you. So let's start with the first, which is awareness. And you're already doing this because we're talking about it today. Simply recognising that this fear exists and that it's affecting your life is a powerful first step. You're not ignoring it. You're not pretending everything is fine. you're facing it, and that takes courage. Remember, as I said, you're not alone with these thoughts and feelings. Share with others that understand. Often it's easier to talk to people that have also had a cardiac event or live with a heart diagnosis. Facebook groups such as My Heart and Mind Community will help support you and be a safe place for you to have those discussions. And if you would like to join the community, it is www.myheartandmind.co.uk/community. Secondly, acceptance. No, not giving up, just letting go of the fight. Death is part of being human. That truth was always there. Your heart health just made it more visible. Acceptance doesn't mean wanting death. It means acknowledging reality while you're still choosing to live. After a cardiac event, your mind may interpret every sensation as danger. Over time, and with reassurance, this often settles as your nervous system learns your body is safe again. If something feels genuinely wrong, always get it checked out. But remember, not every sensation is a catastrophe. Thirdly, get it out of your head and onto paper. Fear thrives in silence. Those thoughts whirling around your head can make it so much more intense. So when those thoughts come to mind, it's worth writing down, and it can help you separate what is possible, what is probable, and what is fear talking. So you can ask yourself, is this thought based on fear or fact? What evidence do I have? What would I say to a friend feeling this way? This simple practice of writing down your thoughts and then reviewing them can dramatically reduce mental overwhelm. Grounding yourself in the present moment. Fear lives in the future. It's what we're worrying about might happen. Safety lives in the present. When your thoughts start to spiral, try this grounding exercise. I've talked about it many times and it really does make a difference right then in that moment. So what I want you to do to be able to do this is to just look around and name 5 things that you can see. Then stop and listen and name 4 things that you can hear. Next, it's 3 things that you can feel, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. It gently brings your nervous system back into the now, where you are alive, breathing, and okay. Mindfulness helps, as does gentle breathing exercises, and also guided relaxations can help too. Always work within your body and doctor's advice. My guided relaxations are designed especially for people living with health conditions and are an ideal if you are new to this. My 5th suggestion is challenge that catastrophic thinking. Your brain may jump straight to the worst case scenario. If it does, analyse and challenge any irrational or exaggerated thoughts related to death. Often, our fears are based on unlikely scenarios or worst-case imaginings. Replace those thoughts with more rational and balanced perspectives. And, for instance, if you find yourself thinking that if you leave the house to go to your hospital appointment, you may have another attack, or they may tell you that there's nothing more they can do, then take a second to breathe and think of more rational scenarios. Ask yourself, what else could this mean? Or why am I actually being called in? Your doctor is probably just wanting to check up following surgery, or they want to change your medications. Any appointment with a doctor or at a hospital is to keep you alive for as long as possible. They are the good guys who got your heart beating again. My 6th suggestion is to lean on support. You don't have to do this alone. Talking helps. is something that I say time and time again. Talk, talk, talk again, talk some more, and then talk, talk, talk. Friends, family, therapists, support groups. Even if they haven't had a heart attack themselves, most people have questioned mortality at some point. In my own support communities, people often say the same thing in different ways. Time helps. It gets better. You're not alone. And they are right. So now we move on to changing your perspective. Focus on the living, not just surviving. Focus on personal growth. Engaging in activities that bring meaning and purpose in your life can help alleviate existential fears. Have you always wanted to make your own pottery? Love animals and wanted to open up a sanctuary? Always wanted to walk up a mountain? May want to check with your doctor on that last one though. Pursue hobbies, set goals and cultivate relationships that fulfill you and bring you joy. By focusing on personal growth and the things that matter to you, you may find a greater sense of fulfillment and contentment. My most recent thing is learning Spanish on Duolingo. I'm not the only one in my support group and family that are using it to help themselves feel better and to be focused on something outside of their heart health and their health in general. Fear shrinks when life expands. As I said, try a new hobby, try learning something new, maybe some gentle movement, listening to music, uplifting music, things that bring you joy. Get creative, model making, make some knitted items and have meaningful conversations and make meaningful connections. You are still allowed joy and you are still allowed dreams. Then there's taking care of your mental and physical health. Your heart event was not just physical. Exercising as advised, your eating habits, sleeping, medication compliance, these all help your mind as much as your heart. Many people also benefit from therapy, trauma-informed approaches, or medication. There is no shame in asking for support. Cardiac depression and anxiety are very real and very treatable. And when you need extra help, if the fear of death is dominating your life, there is other help available. These can help gently address the root causes of fear rather than just managing the symptoms. You might want to try hypnotherapy, the core transformation process, finding yourself a coach to help you with life planning, cardiac trauma reprocessing, counselling services, or joining My Hearty membership club with regular meetings and discussions. I'll tell you a bit more about that in a few moments. But I just want to share with you now some voices from the others who've been there. When I ask people living with heart disease how they cope with the fear of dying, the answers were raw and honest and incredibly human. Common themes come up time and time again, and I'm just going to share some with you now. Time helps. It doesn't disappear, but it softens. Medication helped me. Counselling saved me. Exercise gave me confidence in my body again. I lived and I remind myself of that. I had to stop being so afraid of dying that I forgot to live. Many admitted they still have moments, even years later, but they all said this: life slowly gets bigger than fear. And to begin wrapping up for today, if you're listening to this and nodding along, please know this. What you're feeling makes sense. It's part of the healing. And it does not mean this is how life will always feel. You survived, you are here, and you are allowed to live life fully, not just cautiously. I mentioned my online Hearty membership club. It's an idea that I've started to work on. And if you'd like to know more, please add your name to my waiting list where I can send you some information as it grows. But essentially, by becoming a member, it means that each month you'll have access to a live learning session via Zoom with me. This will be available as a replay. A live heart-to-heart get-together session, again on Zoom with me and with other hearties. And again, this will be, how many times can I say again? This will also be recorded so you can catch up on replay if you can't watch it live. I'll be sending Reiki energy distance healing once a month and a recorded guided relaxation, especially for the members of this group. I hope to have special guest speakers, downloadable resources, plus you get to put input in about the content of the sessions and the get-together topics. We could even do some quizzes and play some games. Don't miss out. Here's the link to my waiting list for more information. As it starts to formulate in my mind, I'll be sharing more with you. It's www.myheartandmind.co.uk/WL006. It will be on my website accompanying this article and also on the show notes of this episode. And so now it just leaves me to remind you that you are loved more than you will ever know. You are admired by more people than you'd ever expect. You are worthy of joy, happiness and adoration. You are one of a kind, unique and priceless. You are the only one that can be you. So be proud, be bold, be you. Looking forward to catching up next time. Bye. And as we say goodbye, a quick but important reminder. This podcast is intended to support and complement your medical care. It is not a replacement. I'm not providing medical advice, diagnosis or treatment. If you have any concerns about your heart, your health or any other symptoms that you're experiencing, please seek the advice from your GP, cardiologist or emergency services immediately. Always listen to your body and always follow the guidance of your healthcare team.